Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Everything Moto Racing podcast, episode 122. This is the second time we've tried to record this. I'm joined by Cameron and Lauren. How you doing?
Hi. I can't believe you gave away the surprise. We could have got away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
No one would have known.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, the stress.
What
But
can
it's
I
okay.
say? It's fine.
Okay.
Everything's great.
everything's
yeah.
fine.
We'd only
Just
got 10
chill.
minutes in,
Yeah.
so it's not like we recorded
And
the
had
whole
like
episode.
6 issues in the
Yeah.
process.
Unreal.
Love that for technology. But yeah, so we are back. Quite a bit has happened since we've last been back.
Indeed.
Our schedules have not lined up recently.
Oh, it's Christmas,
But I think
you know?
the main... Yeah, that's true.
It's the season.
The main and major thing that has happened is that the RNF squad is now defunct in MotoGP. They cease to exist, and believe the CEO of the sponsor, Cryptodata, kind of put out a statement after Irrita and Dorna and everybody banished them from the 2024 season, basically saying that they were going to expose Dorna,
Ooh.
which is very intriguing, about what they could expose, and that they would also have a lawsuit against Dorna. But then in the days that followed, both Dorna and the sponsor settled and were like, yeah, that's fine, yeah, we'll leave MotoGP. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Bit of hush money.
Potentially, yeah.
Sounds like it.
That's just speculation.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, we
but-
know no facts, so please
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I know no
No.
facts in general.
Nothing.
Like,
Mhm.
not even anything to do with this. Like, I just don't know any facts. Like, full stop.
No,
so
just in
don't
life.
listen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But as we know, we did mention it the other week, that the Trackhouse racing squad has been officially confirmed to replace the outgoing RNF squad owned by Mr. Justin Marks, who is an established racer in NASCAR himself, has a win to his name in the Xfinity Series, and have their own team, of course, with 2 drivers, and have successfully been able to basically walk into the series and do pretty darn well, winning races across the Xfinity and the NASCAR Cup as well. They've done genuinely really well, because you wouldn't expect this kind of thing from NASCAR teams, because most of the time it's the top 4 drivers really winning. And the fact that one of the drivers, Ross Chastain, has come second last year in the Cup Series with Trackhouse is very impressive.
Mm.
You know, beating some top names in the series as well. I don't know if you know too much about NASCAR. I don't, but I know a few names, and I know that he beat some pretty big names within NASCAR, including Kyle Busch. So I'd say that's quite impressive, personally.
Absolutely. Well, can they
Sort of a-
replicate that in
In MotoGP.
Yeah.
GP?
That is the question. How are they score 5,000 points as well? What the hell?
One per
That's
lap.
obscene. Yeah, maybe.
What?
But 5,000 points, that's obscene.
Mental.
But
Inflation.
I think having an injection of money nice into MotoGP like this with Justin Marks and of course Mr. Armando Christian Perez, otherwise known as Pitbull,
Hey.
just a worldwide. I think it's a good thing for MotoGP. Obviously, we've got some rich sponsors already with Red Bull supplying KTM and things like that, but having a name like Pitbull associated with MotoGP, despite us not actually seeing him yet in any of the Trackhouse things, for example, it was Justin Marks at the livery unveiling where they very nicely and very subtly unveiled their livery. Obviously, no idea what country they're from that livery. They made it really difficult to work out.
No, it wasn't obvious at all.
No, it was
Subtle.
struggle to be honest. Yeah, but I think it's good for MotoGP if we can have somebody like Pitbull attending races. I can't imagine it'd be at every race, maybe 1 or 2 across the season. But if he's there, he's put his money where his mouth is and going, I like racing, I want to support racing and support 2 riders and a very good team. And I think that RNF, with the right skills, and the right people and the right money there can really... Oh, well, it's not RNF anymore. But you know what I mean? Miguel and Raul, shall we say, can really excel, because throughout 2022, neither of them got upgrades. Neither of them got support from Aprilia because RNF couldn't afford it. They had no money to pay for these upgrades. So they were pretty much on the same bike all year long, whilst Maverick and Aleix were getting updates and upgrades and things like that. And then as soon as Raul hopped on that 2023 bike at the Valencia test, he was 5th.
Very impressive. Yep.
Yeah. And I think having that access, with thanks to the money, to new and updated machinery that's like for like Valeix and Maverick Vinales will do them both very good. I've heard that from the start of the season it will be Miguel Oliveira on the 2024 bike, and Raul Fernandez will be on the 2023 for the first few races before getting an upgrade to a 2024 at some point throughout the season.
That seems a bit random in my mind, but to be fair, if he's gone on to the 2023 at the test and it's worked well, then don't fix something that's not broken, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think you're right with the money thing. Like, it's bang on. This is exactly what Aprilia need to make that jump, to get their satellite team and their main team too, their factory team, that bit of consistency. Because that's the thing that they've been lacking now for 2 years. So I'm quite excited by this, and for the fact that it's Pitbull. So yeah, obviously I hope we see him at some point. So
yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah,
Coda. On the podium.
Coda, he will.
That'd be
there.
cool. That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I think Raul Fernandez being on a 2023 bike is good, because, as we know, Raul Fernandez has moved around a lot in the last few years. In the last 5 seasons, he's ridden 4 different motorcycles for 4 different teams. So having, and again, he'll ride an updated version of his 2022 bike next year, but I think having that small step between 2022 to 2023 bike is better than him going from a 2022 to 2024 that may not be fully ready yet, and leave it in the hands of the experienced Oliveira, Vinales, Aleix, who have the experience to actually turn this bike into the machine that they want it to, and when it's ready, then pass it to Raul, whose inexperience means that he's not ready yet to develop the bike as these other 3 riders can. And I think that would be good for Raul to just have that continuity, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll see a podium from him.
Yeah, I mean,
year.
he was 5th at Valencia in the race.
Yep. I think Qatar. Let's put that prediction in now. Let's go.
I think Qatar.
There's too many Ducatis.
No, but I think Qatar in general is going to be such a wild race. I don't think any of our predictions for Qatar are going to... Well, any of the bog standards.
Marquez.
Well, maybe, but you never know. I don't know. I think it'll be a bit crazy. But the only reason that we're picking Marc Marquez and that we think Marc is going to be up there is because he's moving to a Ducati. So maybe this injection of money for Aprilia will make us start thinking the same things about them.
Yeah, you never know. And I mean, at the end of the day, the contracts are all up next year.
Yeah.
Every rider's going to be looking for a new seat. I know for a fact Fabio Quartararo will be looking for a way out of Yamaha unless they can somehow reinvent the wheel in the next month or 2, which I can't see happening.
You mean make a Ducati?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
the Valencia test didn't look great for them. I know it's really early, but it didn't look like they brought that much, and like compared to the Honda anyway, who brought something completely new. Yeah, we'll see, but yeah, I think Fabio's going to be hunting down an Aprilia or a European bike at least, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at the end of the day, he's young. He's got so much talent there. The fact that he finished 10th in the standings this year after battling for the championship and leading the standings for most of last year is not on Fabio.
It's criminal when you think about it.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is, yeah. I think Jorge Martin will also be someone looking at a new manufacturer in 2025 though as well, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I saw on GP1 that he turned up to the Valencia test with 2 blacked out suits ready so that he could test a factory Ducati, because he was under the assumption that he would be swapping with Bastianini.
Interesting.
But surely a conversation would have had to be had. Like, there's no way he's just assumed and showed up with 2 sets of leathers.
I believe it was because of the whole, if he wins the championship, he will swap with Bastianini.
Yeah, so I don't get why.
And I think he just assumed, I'm going to win the championship.
Did you not see people's comments on Twitter, though? People were so, offended by it almost.
Yeah, people are saying he's arrogant, he's cocky, he's da-da-da-da.
Yeah. Like, why would he do that, assuming this, that, and the other? And it's like, well, he was still in with a chance of winning the championship, so if that was written into the contract, then why wouldn't he bring 2 sets of leathers with him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone has a problem with it.
Yeah, that's kind of what MotoGP needs, though. Like, his goal next year is to win the championship, and he's gone out and said that if he doesn't win the championship, or at least doesn't get a factory seat with Ducati, he will be looking elsewhere for 2025. Which I can understand, because if you don't finish second, you finish second in the world, and you're on a satellite bike, it's kind of a kick in the face. But in the same way, you're still on the best bike. Yeah, you're not in red. Doesn't matter, though. You've got less pressure, you've got less stress.
I think it does matter. If he wins it next year ahead of Pecco Bagnaia and doesn't get given a factory bike, you're sort of going, what is the point?
Yeah, absolutely in that regard, for sure.
I agree.
If you beat the factory boys and then don't get given a factory seat, you're right. Like, what's the point? It makes the whole concept redundant. But then it has all changed in the last 10 years between this sort of the clear distinction between factory and satellite. Like Deck said, a Pramac bike is as good. It's the same bike as what the ones in red are running. And, Martin, they've been building just a whole package as a team for the last, 2 years now? How many years has he been here?
Since 2021 was his rookie season.
This will be year 4 now.
Yeah. So, like, 4 years with that kind of consistency in the team. Like, the shake-up going onto a red bike might not have suited him this year. Say he got picked instead of Bastianini, he might have fared worse than he did on the Pramac. He probably would have, I think.
It's a pressure cooker, that team, isn't it?
You what?
That team's a pressure cooker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he'll look back on these couple of years in 10 years' time and think, you know what, it's probably a good thing I didn't end up on the Lenovo Ducati.
I think he's got that in his head, though, because with every comment that he makes, like, if I haven't proved myself already that I deserve to be on a factory bike, then there's nothing that I can do to prove myself. Like, they obviously don't want me in the factory team. I think if he won the championship, things would be slightly different, but I think he's right. In the 3 years that he's been there, if he hasn't proved it by now, I don't know what he could do. I think even if he did go and win the championship next year, I still think there's a high possibility that he would move, because I think he's sort of made it clear, and I think the relationship is sort of on its way out. Yeah, I think so.
Well, the thing is, even if he doesn't win the championship, Gigi has said to GP1 that if Marquez wins the championship, he will pretty much get promoted to the factory Ducati squad if he takes the offer, of course. He's only got a 1 year deal with Gresini. He could disappear to Aprilia or KTM the year after. That's always a viable option for him if he wants to take that. But Marquez, it's another topic for maybe another time, but Marquez into a factory Ducati squad would be a weird one, just because the team is sponsored by Monster, and there's no way in hell Marquez is breaking his Red Bull deal for that. His manager is part of Red Bull. Like, it wouldn't make sense unless Ducati broke their Monster Energy contract.
You never know. If Marquez gets on that Gresini this year and wins the championship, and for the fact that he's already made the decision to leave Honda, something that no one ever thought he was going to do, I think you'd be surprised with the risk he'd be willing to take. And I think he would drop Red Bull.
But in the same way, because Red Bull, I believe, are going to sponsor the Gresini team next year. So if he can win the championship on a Gresini, why would he need to go to the factory squad and lose his major sponsor in the process? If anything, there's no motivation to do that, is there?
What about a Pramac? Are they agnostic?
They've not got anything now because Martin's Red Bull and Morbidelli's Monster.
Yeah, so I think that could potentially be an option.
Yeah, if he wants to take that, he can take that.
If he wants the latest bike. But like you said, he might have absolutely no desire to. If it's working at Gresini, then it's another
change. He's with his brother as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like with the whole Top Rack, Razgatlioglu and the Rocket situation. I don't know how in depth you followed it. I was quite intrigued about it. Knew people who spoke to Top Rack about it as well, because Top Rack went to Rocket BMW and World Superbikes, and prior to Rocket coming on board as a major sponsor of the team, they were kind of like a little sponsor, but nothing like a title sponsor. Van der Mark and Redding could run like the Monster Energy sponsorship with it, but then Rocket came on with their sports drink, their energy drink, and Redding and Van der Mark both had to drop their personal Monster Energy sponsorship for it. So then there was the whole thing about, Top Rack, Red Bull for as long as you can remember. His manager, Keen Sofoglu, is a Red Bull ambassador. You've got Chan, Dennis, Onshu, you've got Batty and Sofoglu as well, all running Red Bull. Top Rack dropping Red Bull just didn't seem like it would be on the cards. And then, of course, they managed to wrangle it. Keenan, being the mastermind of management as he is, wrangled it and basically said, Rocket, you are a sports isotonic drink, and Red Bull is an energy drink. Therefore, there's no clash, and you can run both. As the Top Rack remains a Red Bull.
There's always semantics, but
that's genius.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's smart, isn't it?
I would be as motivated to find a loophole like that if I was getting paid. Well, Keenan was getting paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
you think Keenan actually came up with that idea? No, someone else. No. Someone from Red Bull has gone. This is what you're gonna do.
Do this, and we'll sort it out.
And we'll keep paying you all this money. Yeah.
Yeah, because Top Rack will have. He obviously will have been motivated to keep Red Bull regardless, and he would have spoken to BMW and go, "I'm not coming on board unless I keep Red Bull."
Yeah.
And I think it's rare these days you see that, because riders will happily drop long-term sponsors to swap teams, like Jorge Lorenzo dropping Monster Energy to join Honda, for example, and Johan Mir dropping Monster Energy to join Honda as well. Luca Marini has been with Monster for years, and they're all swapping around. I'm intrigued. Jorge Martin's going to the factory squad. He'd have to drop Red Bull, who he's been with since he won the Rookies Cup in 2014. That's nearly a 10-year-long standing relationship. But then you've got Cal Crutchlow, who refused to go to Repsol because he'd have to drop Monster Energy.
It's interesting, though, because I think Top Rack pretty much would have had his say with whatever team he wanted in Superbike.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. Whereas everyone else you've just mentioned, with the exception maybe of Lorenzo, kind of almost had to take what they were given.
Yeah.
Which is a bit different, but I guess perhaps we're getting a bit off topic. Ultimately, it's one of those things. The underlying point is stranger things have happened, and sponsors are just sponsors at the end of the day.
Yep,
they are. Well, yeah. And one last thing, Johnny Rea broke a very, very long Red Bull deal to join Kawasaki, who he was testing with a Red Bull helmet before they brought on entire Monster Energy sponsorship. But Johnny Rea was with Red Bull since he was in his teens and was riding for the Red Bull Rookies BSB Super Sport Squad back 2003 or 2, something stupid like that, until he joined Kawasaki in 2015. John Hopkins broke a very long Red Bull deal as well for Monster. So yeah, it can happen, but in the case of Marquez, I just don't see it happening.
It's an interesting thought, this clash of loyalty when we're talking about capitalism, really, isn't it? But anyway, that's me just
it is
musing.
Yeah,
carry on.
Goes a bit deeper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, I think it's interesting anyway. But Yeah. And then on to the main thing on podcast, of course, the predictions. So we haven't actually done Valencia yet, but then we also, at the start of the season, predicted things for the whole entire year. For example, who we thought would be world champion. We've also got a few little subjective ones that we can kind of the three that we've picked, maybe pick which one we think is best.
Right.
And then obviously crown the winner, or we can just pick out of the entire class who we think won that. For example, biggest surprise, biggest improver, biggest disappointment, and things like that. It's just interesting to look back actually and see the names we've picked, especially ones I've picked. Jesus.
You picked
but
Jesus.
Anyway,
interesting.
I did pick Jesus.
What were you doing that for?
I know.
Silly.
I don't know. Go for a wild card, you know.
Golly gosh.
Yeah, but on to Valencia. So going into the final round of the season, I led the standings with 348. Cameron was second with 314, and Lauren with 202.
I didn't even know that. That's really upsetting. Anyway.
That's tough. And in the Valencia race, Vaya got pole. I went for Sasaki, Cameron Onshu, Lauren Mazia. In the race, it was Sasaki, Alonso, Otola. I went Sasaki, Alonso, Mazia.
Oh.
I get 15. Cameron went Sasaki, Holgado, Onshu, 10 points. And Lauren went Sasaki, Vaya, Onshu, 10 points. So
cool.
going into Moto 2, I lead with 373, Cameron 339, and Lauren 214. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's after Moto 2. I'm very sorry.
Well then.
So after Moto 3, I had 363, Cameron 324, Lauren 212. Moto 2. Oh, I've screwed this up. I don't even know it was on pole. But anyway, I'm just going to really rush through this actually. I scored 10 points, Cameron 15, Lauren 2. In the MotoGP race, I scored 10, Cameron 0, Lauren 11. Meaning the final standings for the entire year were Cameron was on... No, we'll go from the bottom. Lauren finished with 214. Cameron with 339.
That's a lie. That's wrong.
Hell, no, yeah, you got 225. You got 225. 225, yeah.
Fuck me.
It's
I
'cause
know
messed
I'm
up the
last, but
document.
stop diddling me out of points.
And then, yeah, I finished in first with 383.
Sorry, what did I end on?
339.
339.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, you know,
it's almost as if he's curated it for himself to win.
I know, that's it. Like, yeah,
I was behind for most of the year. What are you on about?
Yeah, being like, oh no, wait, that's wrong. This is wrong. Oh, would you look at that? I'm 50 points clear. Gosh.
Oh look,
how did
that's
that
Lauren's
happen?
points after Moto 2, but then she scored 11 points, but that's still actually her total. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
I can send you the document if you want to go over it.
It's a bit
I
late
bet
now.
that document is about as a mess as your thoughts. But
My
anyway.
life. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, on to the actual predictions for the entire year. There's no points for this. This is just a bit of fun. So, we went for the Rookie of the Year in Moto 3. We didn't do MotoGP because obviously it was Augusto Fernandez. And the actual Rookie of the Year was David Alonso, who put in a stellar season.
Yep.
Very nearly finished third in the championship.
He did.
I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Which is insanely impressive for a rookie. And all three of us went with Jose Antonio Rueda, which you'd expect.
Yeah.
Given the season he had in 2022. And I think he was second Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he still
I
did,
don't
he
think
still
he was
had a
far
great
off.
season, but it was just...
He did. He got a podium and everything.
Yeah.
Colin Vaya, I think, actually beat him in the Rookie of the Year. Think about it. Let's have a look. So, first Rookie of the Year was, of course, David Alonso. Then it was Colin Vaya. Then it was Rueda. Not by much, though. Vaya had a stupidly good second half of the season. From Indonesia onwards, unreal.
I still like...
Yeah, so...
I remember, sorry, just to go slightly off topic, because obviously
Yeah.
Rueda did really, really well, but I mean, wasn't like Acosta or anything where it was like everyone thought this kid's absolutely unbelievable. And I can remember when we were talking to Eddie O'Shea,
Yeah.
pronounce it,
Yeah.
when they were racing alongside each other, and Eddie was saying like they just can't believe the way that Rueda can ride a bike. Like it's ridiculous the data that you can see from Rueda's riding, and yet he's finishing mid-pack, upper mid-pack in the World Championship, and it's like the level at World Championship level is just ridiculous. I just wanted to throw that in there because I think about that more often than I probably should as a grown man. But
it's interesting you say that, and it'd be interesting to watch how Angel Piqueras compares to how Rueda did, because Rueda switched from the Honda, which he'd ridden exclusively in the CV Moto3 Championship or the Junior GP Championship, to the KTM in the World Championship. Then winning the championship, he did obviously win the rookies on the KTM as well, but it was a stock bike, single brake disc, down on power, was nowhere near as good as the World Championship bike. And of course, you can only beat what's around you, and if you're on the same bike, then of course talent does prevail. But Piqueras next year, who is also exclusively ridden the Honda in the Junior GP, will ride a Honda, the Leopard Honda, next year. Meaning he gets that continuity of the Honda, and he gets the Leopard cheat codes of the whatever kilometres an hour.
Don't say
streets. The distance.
It's too
Again,
soon.
we know no facts. We don't know any facts.
Yeah, no, we know nothing. Please, no one take this seriously. Leopard, we're sorry.
It's just how... So I'm very intrigued to see how Piqueras does next year compared with how Rueda did this year.
Yeah.
Because Piqueras has done the same. He's won rookies and he's won the Junior GP by a massive margin in both. Not even by a little bit. He has absolutely dominated the field in both classes. And so to see how he then steps into World Championship...
It's going to pull a Pedro.
I'm very excited.
I think he might.
Honestly.
Although, to be fair, this time last year...
We did say this about Rueda.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This time last year, we were all going, Rueda this, Rueda that. He's going to be unbelievable. And now, looking back on the year, we're going, God, why did we say that? And now the same thing's happening. We're being brainwashed into thinking these 16-year-old kids are going to come in and
do stupid
wonders.
Things, yeah.
But, do you know what? I'll stick behind Piqueras.
I think
I'll do the same again
good.
this year.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen his number, the yellow 36 on the Leopard. Looks very much like Johan Mears, who was absolutely sensational, as we remember.
That's another Leopard cheat code.
That is.
Yep.
He's got the full set coming here.
Yep.
So, going into Moto2's Rookie of the Year, it was, of course, Sergio Garcia, who I did not expect that.
No.
Like, watching Lorenzo Dalla Porta do what he did, and he's a similar height, I was like, Sergio Garcia is going to struggle in Moto2. Garcia was absolutely outstanding. He got a podium. No, he didn't. I'm looking at right now. But he was still 15th in the championship, which, given the fact that Foggia and Guevara were freaking nowhere.
Literally nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked really good on the bike, especially in the last few rounds. You're thinking, it's really starting to click now.
Yeah, like he got a 4th place in India as well, and a 4th place in Catalonia. I know he crashed out kind of at Valencia and stuff like that, but he is on the speed up next year as well. It's going to be interesting.
Could work.
But yeah, it could. But he's done really well, especially because Guevara finishing the points only 5 times. He scored 20 points. And you look at Pedro Costa the year prior, who was 5th overall with multiple wins to his name, and Raul Fernandez the year prior to that. And you're like...
But not every champion can step up, because Albert Arenas is the prime example of winning the Moto3 championship and moving up and it not working out, even being on the arguably the best bike on the grid, and it's still not working. So not every Moto3 champion can...
Cortesi's another one.
Can make the step up. There's a rare amount of people, actually, when you think about it, that can actually make all 3 classes work. Some people are just built for the little bikes.
Yeah, that's it. The small class specialists, small bike specialists. Like if Lorenzo Dalla Porta stayed in Moto3, I think he'd have been a multiple champion personally. But obviously now he's racing in Italian Championship next year, and it's like, Jesus Christ, that's one hell of a fall from grace.
Yeah, but look at Danny Kent, who's in BSB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
BSB's not too bad, I think, because in the Premier class as well, but I think...
Well, yeah, but look at the route that he had to take to get back there after winning a world championship on the Leopard bike. You know, you're thinking, God, this is the next big British name that we're going to see on the world stage. And now he's back where it started.
He's on the Martrain Yamaha. He looks... nice. It's a shame, but he does look good on that Martrain Yamaha. I'm quite excited to see how he does, to be fair. But, yeah, it is kind of sad. I think Danny Kent... I'm not going too much off topic. Many people said that... I think the quote was that he cares more about his hair than actually training in the gym. Something I heard years ago about Danny Kent.
Right.
None of this podcast is facts. That's another one.
No.
Absolutely none.
No. When he got sacked, there's a lot of questions about his kind of dedication to the racing, shall we say. And I remember earlier this year, Izan Guevara, when he won the Moto3 championship, came up to one of the tests, Moto2 tests, and was completely unfit, and Martinez Aspar went mental at him for it. And so it's interesting to see riders' brains, I guess. They win a championship and they're like, I'm on top of the world, but they forget, maybe some of them anyway, forget that actually, no, it doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning now. You need to, like, Moto2's even... If you thought Moto3 was hard, Moto2 will be even harder for you.
Yeah. Do you know, that just reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but Taylor Mackenzie's new YouTube video that he posted, I think, what was today. And that, the whole mindset thing that you've just mentioned there, his video sort of summed that all up as a professional racer.
Yeah.
So...
I've not seen
a really good video.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, you should, because it was really, really good.
Talks about, like, diet, mental health, and, like, it's like stopping, when he stopped racing and put on 10 kilograms straight away, you know, because you're like, you're not being disciplined anymore. And it's crazy.
Finding that thing that gives you the same feeling of winning a bike race, sort of thing, and all that.
Not to go too far off topic, but it's why, like, racers, when they quit racing, get a bit depressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they've not got anything to chase anymore. They spent their whole life chasing that one thing. They're not doing that anymore. And suddenly it's like, well, what now?
But I suppose it's the same when you mention the likes of Guevara there. You know, he's won a championship. And for a lot of people, that is like the end goal. You know, it doesn't even need to be in the Premier class. Winning a world championship on any bike is so impressive. So for him, maybe it was like getting his head back in the game to think, okay, right, actually, I've just reached my goal. What the hell do I do now? I didn't plan for this to happen, you know.
Is it called arrival fallacy? Yeah, it's like arrival fallacy where it's the illusion that once we make it, we'll attain our goal and reach our destination and reach lasting happiness. And maybe, I'm just trying to think of these riders and their mentality. You know, you arrive at this success and you think, I've made it now. And then you're like, but what now? What do I chase now?
You can make it as simple as, like, I never thought I'd go to university and get a university degree. Like, something like quite simple. And I went to uni and I got a university degree, and I had that exact feeling of like, oh, I just actually went and did that. What the hell do I do now? And that's us in our day-to-day life, and we don't seek that thrill of motorbike racing. That's something as simple as that.
You lose that kind of drive that you've had for ages because there's nothing to chase anymore. There's no carrot being dangled in front of you. And of course, a Moto2 championship is equally as good, but sometimes you're like, well, what's the point? I've already got one.
But at the time when you set your goals without even thinking, you probably just didn't even think, you know, as a young kid, you're sort of going, Moto3, that's what you're on the trajectory for when you do the Red Bull rookies and you do all these junior classes. So when you get to the world stage like that, you're sort of like, okay, what now? I've done it.
Yeah, like, what do I do now?
At such a young age.
Surprising when... Yeah. It's like when Marquez won the MotoGP championship as a rookie, I'm sure. I'm like thinking of his mentality, like, I've done it now. I've done all three classes. I've beaten Valentino Rossi. I've won a MotoGP championship as a rookie. What do I do now?
Yeah.
You just go and smash out an incredibly impressive decade, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, Nico Rosberg when he won the F1 championship and retired almost instantly.
Bang on. That was, when you
He's
think
like,
of
well,
all the
done it.
years that
Don't need to do anything more now.
yeah. Well, him and Lewis Hamilton raced against each other for so many years, so and they like grew up together. So when you think about it, it makes so much sense. If
Yeah.
I was Nico Rosberg, I would have done the exact same thing. I'd have been like, right, I'm out of here. Big fat
Yeah, I'm
paycheck.
done. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've gone really off topic.
Yeah.
But it's fine. So it's funny because all three of ours were disappointing
Oh no.
for our rookies of the year.
Oh.
So I went with Borja Gomez, who got 8th place in the Valencia finale the year prior. So I was like, I think he'll do quite well. He did impress many, but then was 30th, second to last rookie, behind ahead of Nazarne. He scored 0 points and was sacked halfway through the season.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Cameron went with Rory Skinner.
Yikes.
Well, of course I had to.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
mean understandable. He did score
Yeah.
2 points, but
Uh-huh.
hasn't kept his ride.
No, but that's not his fault.
Do you want to say it again? It went weird for us.
yeah, like froze.
Oh, weird. Yeah. No, but that's not his fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not his fault. And he should have been given more time, to be fair. And it's a shame for Rory.
Let's not bring it up. Cameron might start crying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
he might, yeah. I was talking to him the other day, actually, and he hasn't actually got anywhere to ride next year, you know.
Travesty.
Mm,
I'm waiting for him to like announce it in his Instagram bio and just not say anything.
yeah, because he's got a job centre right now on it.
That's what I mean.
Let's check it. I'm going to check. Rory
I feel like
Skinner.
that's like he'll drop hints.
Yeah.
Because Owen
maybe
Jenner did
Rory-
the same when he
Yeah, he did.
didn't have anything sorted. He was like it's like pending or something like that, and then when it got announced, I don't know if he's actually changed it, but when he didn't have a ride, he had it changed.
It'd be incredibly
Yeah.
ironic if he went to like American Superbike or something.
Yeah, it would. I mean, like SDK's been confirmed, doesn't he, to
Yeah.
ride the BMW? SDK, big shout out to SDK, by the way, for supplying a boot for the EMR giveaway soon. I have a signed boot from Sean Dillon Kelly for the 100k giveaway on the EMR soon. I'll announce it on the podcast when it's out. But yeah, big shout out to Sean for supplying some cool stuff to give away.
Legend.
Yeah, absolute hero. So, on to the last rookie of the year. Lauren went for Izan Guevara, which you'd understand because Moto3 world champion. Like, it's not like it was mental to assume that.
No,
Wasn't mental. at
it
all.
wasn't Borja
it's just a
Gomez.
bit-
So
No, he did well. But, yeah, so now we go on to the biggest surprises.
Right.
So, without telling you who we've all picked, in Moto3, who do you think was the biggest surprise? I would straight off go David Alonso, to be honest.
Yeah, hard to argue with that.
Yeah. Like, I can't see any
Well,
other
Colin
names. that
Vire.
really stand out.
Yeah, or fire. Yeah.
Mm,
I suppose
Vire
it's
was-
what you're looking at though, because Ortola would have been the first half of the season, whereas Vire was the second half of the season, and then Alonso was obviously just the whole season.
Yeah.
Which would be why, I'd put Alonso first, and then I have cases for a couple other people.
Yeah, that makes sense because, well, he only did one season. No, he did 2 seasons on the gas in the Junior World Championship. But in 2022, Alonso won 1 race and didn't finish on the podium for the rest of the year. Finished 7th overall in the Junior GP. So to step into the World Championship after having an okay season and be 3rd in the world,
That's a surprise.
yeah.
They-
Are we
they-
going to stick with him?
Those were the sorts of people. Whoever scouted him out will be getting a lot of praise.
Yeah. Right, because he's been with Aspar since he was riding 80cc's in the ESBK pre-Moto 3 series. He's been with Aspar about 8 years.
What,
He's
since he
been with
came out of
Aspar-
the womb?
Honestly, probably. Like, he's been with Aspar since he was about 10 years old. He went all the way through the Spanish ranks and all the way into the European Talent Cup and then into the Junior GP and now World Championship, which, respect. But yeah, so we're going to go with Alonso for the biggest surprise in Moto 3.
I think so. Send him
Yeah.
a check.
Okay. So, the riders we chose for the biggest surprise are with David Salvador, Who, to be fair, he nearly got a podium the year prior at Catalonia on that Max Racing bike.
You've said a lot of this so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to justify
Funny
your
enough,
bad
I go from
answers.
riders pre results. Cameron went for Yamanaka.
Of course you did.
I just picked a name, if I'm honest.
Out of a hat.
Yeah, I remember at the time
Nice.
just being like, Yamanaka.
I feel like because he'd been announced to go to the Aspar Gas team, you were sort of going.
I can guarantee that absolutely did not go through my mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Lauren went with Daniel Holgado, which, yeah, there's a case. There's a case.
There's a
There
case.
is a case.
Until the summer, and then the case is
Yeah.
gone. But
Case is closed.
next year,
You did better than
Yeah.
us.
he did, and
Yeah,
he
he
did
did.
better than last
He
year.
did.
So
So, yeah.
200 points for Lauren.
Well done.
I need them.
So, Moto2's biggest surprise. I'm going with Fermin Aldeguer.
I feel like Cameron probably said Rory Skinner.
Probably.
Like, that's not who I picked, but
I think, I don't know, like, I feel like this is what we should have had from Aldeguer. So I don't know if it's
Yeah.
a
I don't think
surprise.
any of us picked Aldeguer because I don't think any of
we expected it.
he's
No, but
been
we're going-
talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanna try and get my biggest surprise right. That's why.
Who else has been surprising in Moto2? Garcia? Towards the end?
Yeah. Garcia was a surprise.
Ramirez.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. To be fair.
Or Manu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Manu
he'd
Gonzalez had a
started doing
solid
quite
year.
well at the end of last season. So to be fair,
That's
if someone
true.
had picked him,
True.
or if someone did pick him, I would be like, that's fair.
Yeah.
But we couldn't have picked Ramirez because he came in halfway through as well.
No, he had a ride before that.
He was on the forward bike at the back of the
God.
grid.
Yeah.
So.
Like he was in
Then
the
he hopped on
starting
that.
No.
the starting grid, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay,
what I
well
mean.
then, fair. Yeah, Ramirez.
To go
then.
from
He wasn't sitting on the
24th
sofa.
in Argentina,
Yeah.
24th in Argentina to 3rd in Malaysia.
That's a surprise.
That is a big surprise. I would personally, I think I'd go for Marcos Ramirez after all that.
Agreed.
But we all have to agree though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there is anybody else, but no one's really coming to mind. We're gonna click off this
Right.
recording and we'll be like, oh, what about so and so?
Right, Marcos Ramirez. It is.
Okay.
Consensus reached. That's it.
Yeah. So I went for Barry Baltus.
He did okay.
Did I say
He did
Zonta?
okay. You went for. I'll tell you in a minute. Actually, Cameron went Manuel Gonzalez.
See?
Well, okay.
Yeah, fair play. And Lauren went with Tony Arbolino,
Oh,
Okay.
which
I would say that's fair.
Fourth.
Where are we going with
Yeah.
was surprise in this case like referring to positive surprise?
what was the
Or,
definition of
Yeah.
surprise? Yeah.
Because we do have a biggest disappointment, so
all right, okay, and that's surprisingly bad, I suppose. So, okay.
yeah.
Well, then my case for Tony is
Yeah.
not that I have to make one, but I feel like that's a fair pick.
Yeah, it's a fair pick. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a toss up between Tony and Marcos and Furman for me.
Well, I would actually give it to Marcos or Fermin.
Yeah, I thought we
yeah. Yeah, we're giving it to Marcos.
Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, MotoGP's biggest surprise. Jorge Martin for me has a case because he was nowhere the last year.
I would agree with you to a certain extent on that one, yeah.
Bezecchi as well.
No.
Zarco winning a race.
No.
Fabio, I guess.
Digi
is
Antonio, I
probably
suppose.
Digi,
Did yeah, did you?
Digi,
God, it was so obvious, wasn't it?
yeah. Digi's got to win that hands
Yeah, because
down.
Martin got what second of Valencia last year.
It's a
so it was
positive
kinda
surprise?
precursor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
positive.
Oh, well
surprise.
then, yeah, because I was going to say when you think about like Marc Marquez and like his season.
Yeah.
But
So we going with
positive, yeah.
Yeah, did you?
Okay.
Gotta be.
Easy. So I went with Ralph Hernandez. He impressed.
Yeah,
Quadrupled his points
towards the
tally
end.
nearly. Yeah. Cameron went Franco Morbidelli, who did improve from 19th to 11th overall, or 19th to 13th overall or something. So he did improve.
I think only because everyone else went backwards, though.
Yeah, that's the point. And Lauren went with Mark Marquez.
Here. It's a fair shot.
You want to justify that, or
What? Do you not agree?
I mean,
no?
he did incredibly well on that pig of a Honda.
He did.
But that's
I'm
not
not
a surprise.
surprised.
It's Marc
No,
Marquez.
No.
You know.
But I don't know. I feel like he.
Nah.
Okay. I don't feel like I can change your guys' mind.
You can't.
If the surprise for Marquez would have been a top 5 in the championship for me,
Yeah, I think he would have needed to have been more consistent.
not been beaten by Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I think he has been a surprise this year, but not.
He has.
Not when you
Not
take
as
what
much.
this category is and the fact that we've all agreed that it's Digit. That I think the surprises are quite different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe some of them
absolutely.
not in a good light. So yeah.
I think Cameron might win this next one. So, biggest improver in Moto 3. Who are we going for?
Dennis Ontry. It has a case.
Has a case.
Was
I've
mature.
gone Moreira, but
No case.
Moreira did okay and then disappeared. Mazia?
Yeah, actually, when you think about how many times he's had a chance to win that Moto3 championship.
There is one big name in there, though. I say big name. Tairo Furusato.
Ah.
I think that's a one.
He was doing well. He was doing well
race
towards the end.
basis, though. I don't think that's
He went from scoring 0 point or like barely any points in his rookie season, barely any points in the first half, to then scoring consistent points and getting a podium in there. Like, first half of the season, he scored points in one race. Second half of the season, he scored points in every race bar the 2 that he retired from.
Wasn't that
and got a
something like
podium.
he had never scored anything above like 7th place or something like that?
He never scored. He got a 10th in the Netherlands.
I think of it as
14th
Hell
in
of
his
an
rookie
improvement.
season.
Well, when
Yeah.
you think about surely Masia winning the championship is
How did Messia do last year?
He was
like 3rd or 4th.
6th.
Ooh. Year before that?
What's the points difference?
4th.
Yeah. What's the points difference?
He scored 97 more points.
And how many more did Furusato score?
Furusato scored 2 points in his rookie season and 63 in his second season, which is a massive increase.
Masia scored
Considering
more.
the points increase exponentially when you get towards the top.
Yeah. Say percentage-wise, like, he's increased it by, 3,000% for Furusato? It's nuts.
You've pulled that straight out of your arse.
He's 30 extra,
2
mate.
plus
Safe moon.
3,000%.
Yeah.
That's right. 3,000% is correct.
I didn't think
Yeah,
at 11
sit
p.m.
down.
you'd get that.
Yeah, don't doubt me, as Cal Crutcher once said.
I
But
do
yeah.
every day. But anyway.
Me
You
too.
just can't do
Yeah,
maths when it's down to the predictions then? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
convenient. Yeah.
So, who are we going for? Jaume Messia has a good case, to be fair.
This is a tricky one.
Yeah, because there's probably people further back that have made big improvements that are just being overshadowed. Because, Furusato does have a really strong case there.
Yeah.
I think for the fact that I would say Masia just for the how many years he's been in the championship and for him to actually go out and win it.
Yeah.
He's always been championship contending material.
Yeah, for the first half of the season or something, and then he loses it, or someone comes in and is just better than him, sort of thing. He's always lost his head, and there's
feel
been
like-
mistakes.
I feel like it's more impressive going from no points and being really towards the back of the grid to being consistently,
But then,
top 10.
what about Ortola? Because he
That's
won
true.
races.
Yeah. In my head there, for some reason, Ortola was a rookie, but
No, it wasn't.
I could see Ortola.
Munoz?
Munoz got 10th, but wasn't really like, wow.
I could see a case for Ortola.
Yeah, Ortola or Mazzia. Or maybe Furusato.
Like, if you guys want it to be Furusato, it can be Furusato, but like...
No. I think Mazzia, I think, would be best.
Do you reckon? Okay. I mean, I'll go with it, but slightly reluctantly, if I'm honest. Because it's not like he went from being
from a back marker to...
to winning the championship and winning races. But I'll go with it just so that we're not here until midnight.
Yeah. You said, Lauren?
What, we're going with Masia?
No, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd go Masia.
Okay.
I was just trying to think of other people because I was like, who else is it going to be? Yeah. Cameron didn't want to go with Masia, so I was trying to think of other people that it could work for.
That makes sense. So I went with Watley. Cameron did go with Furusato. And then Lauren went Scott Ogden.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. Moto2's one is absolutely embarrassing from me, but that's fine.
What, because the rest haven't been?
Moto2's biggest improver, Fermin Aldeguer. 15th overall to 3rd. 80 points to 212. 5 wins to his name.
I think that case of like,
7
we've
podiums.
been told that this is the form that Fermin Aldeguer should have started with in Moto2 is a case against him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's still improved, though.
Massively.
Still,
so that's like...
Per definition of this category, it's kind of like...
Marcos Ramirez.
Yeah, well, that again.
Jake Dixon.
Tony Arbolino. Improved.
Yeah, Arbolino's 4th last year, though.
Not that much then. He's made a solid improvement.
35 dark.
Over the last couple of years, I suppose.
Pedro?
Pedro
No.
was 5th last year.
Well,
Marcos Ramirez has a strong case.
If there's a case for Masia for Moto3, sure there's a case for Pedro in Moto2.
Nah, Pedro was already beast in Moto2.
Nah, but like, he wasn't
goated.
winning everything.
Pedro broke his leg last year. Give the man a break. That's why he didn't win it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's improved by not breaking his bloody leg.
I know,
True.
it's amazing, isn't it?
True.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing what you can do these days.
Right.
I'm not seriously suggesting Pedro.
No.
I would want to say Ramirez.
Yeah, I'm keen to say Ramirez, to be fair. From back marker to 3rd.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a fluke, because he nearly got it again in Valencia.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, like, you would like to say the likes like Aaron Canet or Vietti or Chantra or Agura. Oh my god. Yeah, biggest disappointment maybe.
That's what I'm thinking for this biggest one as well.
Biggest improver. I don't know. Or maybe no one's springing to mind.
No, well, let's... Ramirez from Portimao 2022, which is the 5th round of the season, to Austria 2023, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 races, scored 0 points.
Wow.
And then he went and got 14th in Austria and got 2 points. So go 25 races without scoring any points and then get a podium by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think
Ramirez.
Yeah. Sound. Marcos Ramirez wins again.
Woof.
Okay, so I went for Lorenzo Dalla Porta, which is hilarious, to be honest, because he got sacked twice.
What is it with you picking people that have not been sacked?
I don't know. I've got a knack, apparently. Cameron went Dennis Foggia, which, and Lauren went Zonta van der Gorberg, which she finished 6th place, to be fair, India.
I knew I'd picked him for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid improvement, just not the most improved.
I think next year will be a good year for him. I think it's his consistency that is shot him in the foot a bit this year, but I think now that he's got the points and he knows he can do it, the results will come.
Yeah.
Right. And the biggest improvement MotoGP, mine's got a good case for it. But I'm not going to say who it is for a minute so that it kind of discombobulates you. But I'd say one of them is definitely Marco Bezecchi.
Like, I know Marcos Ramirez had a good season, but like, it's not that good.
Calm down.
Didn't bridge classes, come on. I mean, surely it's the same as the surprise. It's got to be Diggio, right?
Yeah, to be fair. What was it? 6 times his championship points. He went from 24 to 151.
Yeah, like
Binder?
Nah, Binder was pretty solid.
Finish last year? I think he fit 8th last year off the top of my head. 6th. Alex Marquez went from 19th overall to 9th or something like that. 2 sprint wins, 2 podiums, missed 3 races and still managed to do that.
Marini?
Marini was
I feel like he's
always
just
kind of
solid.
top 5.
Yeah,
solid
top 10, top 5. Yeah.
I'm sticking with Diggio, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Diggio as well, to be fair.
he was the only one
You're gonna
riding
go
so
on.
poorly that like he pretty much lost his job until he'd improved so much that
They had to give him a
he
job.
saved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they literally Valentino ousted his own brother to give this man a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, nuts. Right, are we going with Diggio then?
I think it has to be, yeah.
So.
Okay, so I went with Alex Marquez.
Yeah.
Decent. Cameron went Johan Mir.
Oh, no.
Second to last in the championship.
Oh, that's so sad.
Second to last in the championship.
Yeah. Out of the full-time riders, that is, yeah. The only person who was lower than was Paul Espargaro.
Well, that's...
Who nearly died.
Yeah. So he gets a pass.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
He got beaten by Danny Pedrosa, who did 2 races.
Who did?
Mir?
Mir got beat by Pedrosa.
Oh, that's a horrible statistic. That is horrible.
No, that's the best statistic I've heard in years. That's fabulous.
As a Pedrosa fan, yeah, but Jesus, that is also...
It's nuts. And Lauren went for Luca Marini, who again, solid.
He did alright.
I think he has improved, but not the most. Yeah.
No. Yeah, our biggest disappointments next are quite funny. So, Moto3 biggest disappointment.
Did I say Jamie Messia?
Not saying. Biggest disappointment for me is Tatsuki Suzuki, who won a race and then just dipped. Or Fanati.
Oh, yeah, Fanati.
Suzuki did also get sacked, which didn't help his case.
Well, he didn't get sacked. He decided to just not come back.
One
of those Leopard secrets coming out again.
Yeah, he was just like, you know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
I think surely, I want to say Suzuki, considering that he clearly is fast, and his teammate won the title.
Yeah,
and then he did not, by like considerably.
He won a race and then just disappeared.
Yeah.
Riccardo Rossi.
Yeah, Rossi didn't do too well at all either. 14th overall. Didn't even get a podium this year. Yeah.
Moreira did win a race this year, so no, I'd take him out of it. Anna Carrasco had a disappointing season until the injury.
Yeah. She was shocking. 35th.
Right, well, I didn't say that.
She was.
I'm just being rude.
Yeah. She was beaten by David Almanza, who raced for 3 different manufacturers. What the hell?
I'm inclined with Suzuki. It's the one that really jumps out at me as being like.
I think
way more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Suzuki it is. Okay. So, me and Lauren went for Jamie Messia.
I knew it.
Okay.
Which is quite funny. Cameron went with Ronaldo Fanati, which again, good case for.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment Moto 2.
Lopez.
Ooh.
Ayagura, Vietti.
There's a few, isn't there? Considering how strong Lopez was last year.
Can it?
Yeah. Canet.
Canet did Canet things though, didn't he? Just sort of
How many
finished
second
it.
places did he get this year?
Yeah.
He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
How many did he get last year?
Oh God. He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Consistent.
So
Wow.
can't be disappointing.
Okay,
It's exactly what he's supposed to.
He's doing.
Wow.
I'd say for me it's a toss up between Agura and Vietti.
Lopez, I would put a strong case in for.
Yeah,
I think I'm not
strong case
that
there as
disappointed in Vietti because he was kind of going that way anyway. at
Oh,
end
the
of last
second
Yeah,
year.
half
that's a
of
good
last
point.
season
Yeah.
was all downhill.
It was sort of
It's
business as
shocking, yeah.
usual. This year,
Ogura?
almost.
I think he scored.
Agura, I think it has to be because you don't go from second in the championship to nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got injured, didn't he, earlier on?
Pre-season, yeah, he did have a hand
Yeah.
injury, but he never came back from it. Like,
No, it's true.
there's a few
Yeah.
people mid-pack that you could sort of have cases for, like we said, like Canet or like Joe
Pamlo's,
Roberts, maybe
Arenas.
Arenas.
Arenas on the IO bike.
I'm
Yeah.
still more with Agura.
I think Agura because he went from second in the championship
Yeah,
to
yeah,
nothing.
for sure.
But I think there's a lot of disappointing cases in general in Moto2
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, it has been a bit
Okay,
of a flop almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're going Agura then.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I went. Oh my god, I can't spell Tatsuki. I really can't spell Tatsuki. There we go. So I went for Iagura.
Oh, really?
So I actually managed to get that one right. Sadly, I don't like getting that one right. Cameron went for Aaron Canet.
Well, I don't know. I think he just sort of stayed the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lauren went for Celestino Vietti.
I mean,
Solid.
yeah. Apart from that one win, he wasn't really.
No. My biggest disappointment for this one's hilarious. But we'll talk about that one in a minute. So, biggest disappointment for MotoGP, Fabio Quartararo.
No.
I feel so bad though because it's
No.
so obviously the bike. He rode the bike so well.
Like, it's not his
I'm
fault,
not
so
letting
it's
you
still
pick
disappointed
that
to see him
one.
in 10th.
No. I refuse.
Oliveira.
Again though, he was so unlucky.
Rins getting injured was very
Well,
disappointing.
that's the problem because you can look at Bastianini, you could look at Rins, you could look at Marc Marquez, you
Yeah.
can look at Oliveira.
Mir.
Spargaro, Paul.
Yeah. I'm almost inclined to say someone like Vinales
Aleix.
or Aleix, yeah, because like
Yeah.
On
At least
paper-
won 2 races.
Aleix did win two
But
races. Vinales should have won a race this year.
Oh, don't. That
A few.
race where he didn't even attempt to overtake Pecco. And Fabio was sitting
Yeah.
behind him going, come on, I need you to
Yeah.
make this
Yeah,
move so
sort it
I
out.
can get in front of him sort of thing because my
Yeah.
bike doesn't have the power to do it. So,
It's interesting because Aleix finished 6th in championship this year, 4th last year, won 2 races this year, and scored less points than he did last year, despite having sprint races.
that's what
The
I mean.
inconsistency this year has been.
And his attitude this
Yeah.
year. is
Oh god, yeah, that
stunk.
attitude's been awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's disappointing in general, isn't it, to see his attitude?
Yeah. What else we got?
So what's
Jack
this
Miller?
category? Biggest disappointment?
Yeah.
Miller.
Miller is
finished behind
expected.
Fabio.
He did, but to jump from the best bike on the grid to the KTM,
The second best.
where did
kind of
Brad
expected a bit
finish?
more.
Yeah.
Brad finished 4th, but Brad's also been on the bike since 2020.
Yeah, but like
2020.
Jack clearly can ride the bike and has pace in it. So like, and where did it
He
go?
just destroys his tyres, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's,
Jack, I think, has a big case.
Yeah, I guess.
who else is there? I'm between.
Nakagami, but he stayed put.
I'm
No.
between Vinales and Jack in as much as they had no like injuries or real setbacks within the season,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they didn't do what they are capable of.
That we've seen them do in the past.
Yeah.
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 And I think for me, if it's between them two, then I would need to go with Vinales because he was on the same bike.
Yes.
He didn't swap bikes.
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to say. If it has to be between those two, you'd give Jack the benefit of the doubt of it being the first year on the KTM, whereas it's Vinales' second full season on the Aprilia, and there's been no real... Like, okay, there were sprint podiums and whatever, but
he absolutely should have won a few races.
There was so much opportunity for him to do well, and for that one race in particular where he didn't even attempt to make an overtake for the win, you're sort of going, what? Like, why are you here? Why are you racing if you're not going for the win? So I would agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go Maverick Vinales. Okay. So I went for Jorge Martin.
Oh yeah, he was shocking.
Terrible.
I mean, he didn't win, so that is disappointing.
That's true. Yeah. God, disgusting. Cameron went Fabio Quartararo.
Not his fault, but yeah.
No. And Lauren went Maverick Vinales.
Hey!
Oh my god! I never get anything right. I know I did get Champion Messiah right earlier too, but that's shocked me.
You're getting the ones.
Champion Messiah.
The ones with no points attached.
Yeah, why is I'm actually really good at this.
Yeah. So these ones are more of just like we can reel it off because we can't really decide on this one. But it's the highest expectations for each class. So in Moto3, I went with Dennis Onchu. I think I kind of thought he'd win the championship. He did okay. I'd say he met my expectations. Cameron went with Ayumu Sasaki.
He's on with a few more wins, but I don't know if he met expectation, really. Did well, obviously.
Yeah.
Nah, I thought we would get a bit more out of him, but that's not to say that he was he had a shocker or anything.
Yeah.
No, he was robbed, if anything.
Well,
you're bold. You are so bold.
Oh yeah. Lauren also went for Ayumu Sasaki.
I think that he did incredibly, but he made mistakes this season, and we know he can win more races than the one race that he did win this season, and it was just a little too late. And if you take out that race where Messiah did win the championship and look at the mistakes that Sasaki made throughout the championship, you can look at it and go, you had opportunities to win races and score more points, and you didn't. So it's not to say he wasn't good, but he had opportunities and he didn't.
The title wasn't lost at Qatar, really.
No, it was merely won, but not technically lost, because it was lost in the races prior to that when Messiah was winning races and he was second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. So, high expectations Moto2, I went with Pedro Acosta. I mean, expected to have that high expectations because of his rookie year, and he went and smashed it this year. So, impressed.
Yeah.
Cameron also went Pedro Acosta.
Yeah, he fell short a bit, didn't he? No.
Well, he kind of did in the last couple of races, do you not think? But do you think he was just more focused on GP?
MotoGP brain, he's like,
Yeah. Nah, he met expectation, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an interesting one. Lauren went Jake Dixon.
Ooh.
That's deep.
Who was picked for third in the championship at the last race, wasn't he?
What were your expectations?
I thought he could have fought for the championship this year. I honestly cannot remember picking him, but if I have to think of what I probably would have said at the time, I'm thinking that I thought this was the year for... Well, was the win this year? His first win?
Yeah, he got multiple wins.
So I'm thinking, first wins. I knew it would sort of be Pedro Acosta and possibly a handful of other people battling. I think I probably said Tony Arbolino, Jake Dixon, maybe Alonso Lopez. I think he did meet expectations in some ways because he won the races that he did and he had podiums and he had some very, very good races, but also I think he didn't meet them in a way because he had crashes, quite a lot of them, bad interviews, the whole interview with TNT Sport after, didn't want to mention it, but he had that. So when you look at it that way, I don't know, very 50-50. He met some expectations, but not all. He did let down in some things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So highest expectations for MotoGP. I went with Marquez. Thought it'd be the championship, to be honest.
Silly.
Obviously didn't. Yeah, stupid. I'm definitely going to put him down to win the championship next year, though, that's for sure. But at the moment, yeah, just enough said, really. Cameron went with Miguel Oliveira.
What was the category again?
Highest expectations.
Yeah, and you know what? I think if he had some momentum behind him, we probably would have seen some good results, but he will eventually have been hindered by this whole RNF not being able to afford any upgrades and things like that. So it's a shame, because obviously he did come out swinging in Portimao, didn't he? People
he did,
took notice, but then series of bad luck and everything. So it's impossible to say whether he met expectations. I think he would have, had things gone his way, but sadly, it wasn't to be, unfortunately.
No. And Lauren went with Fabio Quartararo, who you also pipped to win the championship.
Oh.
Look, we all say silly things, right? I think I would agree with myself with saying that he had high expectations on him this year, and that we all had high expectations of him to at least battle for the championship, win races, at least.
Yeah.
I know he got a couple podiums, but in his standard of racing and what we've seen from him before, I'd definitely say he didn't really meet any expectations this year, but I think he was a good choice of having high expectations on him, because we sort of thought this would be possibly the comeback of losing out in the championship last year, but just not meant to be.
No.
Yeah, I think it wasn't for lack of trying either.
No, exactly.
No, that's true.
It is disappointing that he had the season that he had, but I think we all agree that if he'd had a bike under him that worked a bit better.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Right. Hey ho. Right, these are more of ones that we made predictions that I can give the answer to as well. So, we picked the first to be fired / leave their team in all classes.
Okay.
Romano Finale.
I went Kota Nazane. Cameron went Joshua Watley.
Oh!
Yeah, and Lauren went Dennis Foggia.
Oh.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I can remember my rationale at the time was because Watley, there was still a little bit of sort of talk of that like interview that he did, right? It wasn't, and I'm sure I was kind of like, he's going to say something that's just going to be like, no, sorry mate, but we got to sack you, basically.
Yeah.
But thankfully, not the case. So
yeah, first to be fired was actually Lorenzo Della Porta. So
yeah,
he was sacked twice.
Did anyone have him down for being sacked
squad
twice?
And sacked from forward.
Oh dear.
So the next one's interesting. We all put that the Team Moto3 World Championship winning, the Moto3 winning team will be the Red Bull KTM IO squad. It was actually intact.
Sorry.
They won, Intact GP won the Team's World Championship.
Right.
And we all put that it for IO.
How silly of us.
Who was on the IO bikes? Raiden.
Aren't you?
And Onshu.
Oh, Onshu. And that makes sense.
On paper, that was going to win.
Yeah.
That would have. Yeah. That should have won, but did not.
No, in Moto2, the Team World Championship champion was the Red Bull KTM IO squad. I went for the same team. I went for IO as well. Cameron went Speed Up and Lauren Gas.
Ah, a little mix.
Yeah. And then in MotoGP, we all went Ducati, but it was Pramac for the first time in ever.
Well, none of us specified, did we? What Ducati it would be?
No. We just said Ducati.
So.
Yeah. Next one's interesting. independent champion. Me and Cameron went for Mooney VR46 and Lauren for Pramac. So Lauren got it right.
Wow.
Woohoo!
Double right, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren got triple right, I guess, because MotoGP class and manufacturer champion, we all went for Ducati.
Oh.
Shock.
Lauren's done the triple.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look, not many can
So
do
his-
it, right? But
no point.
No, right. Here's the interesting one. Moto3 Rider World Champion. Of course, it was Yami and Masia. Me and Cameron went Ayumu Sasaki.
I said Rieda. I know I said Rieda.
And you said Rider, yeah.
Robbed.
In Moto2, it was, of course, Pedro Costa. Me and Cameron went Pedro Costa. Lauren, Alonso Lopez.
What?
Oh.
I thought surely I would have said Tony Arbolino, if not Pedro Costa.
That's wild.
Golly.
And neither of us got by now in MotoGP.
I think we
I
expected
went
him to
Marc
crumble.
Marquez.
Yeah.
I think we did, yeah. I went with Marc Marquez. Cameron went with Brad Binder.
Of
And
course
Lauren
you did.
Fabio Quartararo.
What's that meant to mean? Of course you did.
Because I don't know, the second half of the season, you were
Every time
his
we do a prediction.
biggest fan.
Yeah.
I
And
feel like everything was Brad Binder's second half of the season. From you.
Cameron is Brad Binder.
He pulls the mask off.
I think I did quite well in the points.
I think you've just got a man crush on him or something.
Well, I do, but like that's fine.
I mean,
isn't it?
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, come on.
He's married now. He's a married man
He
now.
is, yeah.
Well, that has not stopped many men in the past. So.
True.
Listen, he's just great. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
Love Brad.
He is. Yeah, he's a legend.
Paddock's lucky to have him.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. So, is that all we've got time for?
Yes.
I think we're
It's
at that
11
stage.
at night.
Yeah, and the second
Unbelievable.
attempt of this, so.
Oh, yeah. So I think that's all we've got time for anyway, but I hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast this year.
Hey.
Thank you for all the support this year that we've had. It's much appreciated. And we're back next year in January for the EMR Awards.
Oi, put your glad rags on. Oh,
Hell yeah.
Literally. We should dress up.
But yes. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh. That wasn't received very well.
No.
I struggle to get dressed
thank
as
you.
it is, if I'm honest. But
Yeah. Cameron wants to do the podcast naked, apparently.
that is not really what I said. But
You said you don't want to get
He
dressed.
said he
No, I said
struggles.
Oh, you struggle to get dressed?
you're just hearing
Ow.
what you want to hear, mate. Jeez, oh.
You're making so
You got
many
me-
narratives today. I
You
don't
got
know
me
what's
thinking
wrong
about
with
Brad
you.
Binder.
Oh, dear.
God, if we make it to
Anyway.
2024, you guys will be lucky.
Oh, God.
Well.
Great. Anyway,
That's a threat.
it is. But yes, thank you for you two as well for being on the podcast all year long. I appreciate it.
You're absolutely
Someone
welcome.
clip that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need that in
could be
writing.
nice.
Signed. Time. Date stamped.
Date stamps,
Yep.
nice.
23,
Thanks.
23.
But yeah.
It's a sign. Anyway.
Damn, it is.
Is it 1, 2, 3?
Anyway,
Or is it 1, 2, 2, the episode?
1, 2, 2.
1, 2, 2.
Oh.
Ah, close.
Shame.
Never mind.
mind.
No divine signs here, people.
No. Close,
No.
but not close enough.
Yeah.
Good night.
Anyway, thank you again, and we're back next year.
Hey.
And goodbye.
Bye.